break down, like looking at, you know, how many characters are in your subject line, what is the segment that this is going to, how warm is that segment, are we doing like product specific emails for people who've been on product pages, like all of those breakdowns, the stuff that we talked about, it's just stuff that it's like a little next level in the e-commerce email game.
Hey, Modern Commerce, welcome back. Casey here with my man, John. Today is a continuation of our last episode. We're going over a list of subject lines. Last week, it was for pre-Black Friday subject lines. And this week, we'll be going over actual Black Friday subject lines. So we haven't looked ahead on this list. We don't know what's coming, but we're going to be grading them. I think we call it like last man standing style. We just kind of 1 versus 2. The winner moves on against 3. So on and so forth. If you watched the last episode, you know what's going on, so we won't waste too much time with the format. Before we get started, John, what's up, man?
Not much, man. It's good to be here. Okay, this is my favorite part of the week, so this is gonna be fun. We had fun last time. There was a lot of Casey on the last episode. I think we need more Casey in general. Like we don't have a lot of. We need more cowbell, you know.
That's a good way to put it. I am the cowbell. You can have too much pretty quickly, though, so keep it reined in. But yeah, let's have some fun today. This is a moose send list of subject lines, so I like saying that the moose is loose right now. So
moose is loose.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. So starting on actual Black Friday subject lines. We got number 12 on the list because before that it was, you know, not pre-Black Friday subject line. So here we go. Black Friday subject lines. Number 12, Burt's Bees. Subject line is free shipping on all orders today only. And here's the kind of main asset in the email, you know, that shows the offer and stuff like that. Okay, so that's the first one. What are we doing here? Do we do them both at the same time or?
Yeah, I guess so.
For these first two, let's do them both at the same time. All right. And then that one is going up against Apple. Our 4-day shopping event is here. And here's kind of like their main asset, it looks like. Let the shopping begin. Get an Apple Store gift card of up to $200 on select products during our 4-day shopping event. And more offers now through Monday. Shop button. So that's what we got going on. Burt's Bees versus Apple. Casey, hit me with your thoughts.
All right, man. I'll go ahead and just start it off by saying this matchup, nothing jumps out at me insanely like as one over the other. I will say about the Apple stuff, I mean, anybody who has like an iPhone or any Apple products, you can kind of tell by their asset, at least, like that white on blue button, that is like so classic Apple. We're not always the biggest fans of like branding stuff necessarily, but like, I mean, that's kind of iconic in my mind. So that stands out to me. People who are super loyal to Apple, sure, they love the continuity. But if I had to lean one way, I guess I'm looking at these subject lines because that's kind of what I always am looking at first. And that's what we're grading, really. So I'm looking at that free shipping right at the front of the subject line for Burt's Bees. And I'm liking that. I'm liking that because, hey, that's strong. You know, I assume that's not like an evergreen thing. If they're actually, that'd be kind of silly if they like made a big deal out of it. That was always the case. You know, there's some stuff I don't like in here as well. I don't love the capital letters. Went over that on the last episode. Don't like the exclamation point necessarily. It's a tad long for my taste, but where it would cut off, probably somewhere around like free shipping on all or ... something like that on a mobile Gmail app. I like it. It's still going to be strong there. And as far as their asset goes, you know, it's that subject line or that header there, the free shipping on all orders. It's pretty strong, and it's got stuff that makes me curious. You know, I like the layout of the offer there. A little bit more to that one than Apple, in my opinion. So I'd be leaning that way. How about you?
Yeah, from a subject line perspective, I think these are both a little weak for Black Friday subject line. You know what I mean? Like, free shipping isn't the strongest offer to lead with on Black Friday. You know, I might lead more with like, we've got 20% off here, we've got 20% off here, we've got what, like a 30 some percent off here. So I might lead with like up to 30% off, right? Just a little bit stronger way to lead on Black Friday when everybody's inbox is full of everybody's best deals of the year. I'm going to give one nod to Apple here. I don't fully understand. I'm going to give a nod and a detraction. I don't fully understand their offer, but if I'm reading it right, get an Apple Store gift card of up to $200 on select products, meaning like when you buy select products, they'll give you a gift card of up to $200, which I think is a pretty strong offer. I mean, especially, you know, when you get into it, it might be like buy a $1,500 computer and get $200, which in actual percentages, you know, Burt's Bees is better, but it just has like a stronger, like $200 toward an Apple product, kind of has a stronger offer vibe. So really, I think both of them missed big, you know, in an opportunity on the subject line. Burt's Bees maybe doesn't have the strongest offer going on, but Apple missed big time on leading with like get a $200 gift card or $200 on us or something like that. We'll give you $200. I mean, they missed big on the subject line, not leading with something around that offer, which, you know, classic Apple fashion that they did that. So for that reason, for that kind of main miss, I think both of them missed a little bit. Apple missed a bigger. So I'm going to give the nod to Burt's Bees on this one.
And remind me, I think we figured that brands might not be totally in control of how juicy an offer they can have. We didn't grade on what the offers actually were, but we did factor in how well they dressed up the offer that they.
Well, I remember that I specifically like gave, especially tiebreaker, I gave a lot of weight to having a strong offer.
Sure. Okay. I think that's probably a good way to. I think the continuity between these two is that neither one of them even dressed up their offer the best they could. So
yeah,
I guess I'm going to try to look at it in that lens, because some of these are going to have some great offers and some of them are going to have like pretty modest offers, but they might do a lot with it as far as messaging.
Right. I will say this last thing, this offer, buy more, save more, which this is a little weird because that $10 off one, that's a floater offer. That's actually not meant for anybody because it's actually the same in terms of percentage as the other one, 5 off 25. But this buy more, save more idea. So they have like a weird, they have like a buy, like 3 tiers, but 2 of them are the same save and 1 higher tier. But this idea of buy more, save more, like, you know, save this much off this, save 15% off all orders, 20% off orders over this, 30% off orders over this, something like that. That's a really strong performer, like across the board for brands that we have that, you know, have enough SKUs to make that make sense, which Burt's Bees does. And it's, you know, chapstick, so you can buy a lot of it. But yeah, and this is also a very interesting like pricing play here to have your middle tier as essentially a floater. All it's meant to do is drive people toward the top tier.
Well, I mean, just so that we're looking at it the same way, like, I mean, if somebody had $40 worth of product in their cart, you know, they might add 10 more.
I guess that's true. I might be reading it wrong, right? So I guess I'm reading it as 20%. But yeah, I get what you're saying. So if somebody has $40, why would they not add 10 more dollars to save 5?
I agree with you, though. There's probably a stronger play with like percentage based.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, regardless, buy more, save more is we found to be like a very strong offer for Black Friday. Okay, so moving on. Burt's Bees versus Rothy's. Nice. Subject line: we heard you like metallic shoes. And then little star emoji here, in case you can't see that. And here is their primary asset inside the email versus Burt's Bees, free shipping on all orders today only. And this is the main asset. All right, Casey, you lead.
All right, man. Pretty similar to the first matchup for me here. Not a ton I love exactly about either of these still. I think either could get beat out pretty easily by some of the other ones coming up, if I had to guess. I will say in the it is a small thing, but in the asset, at least for Rothy's, they did put limited edition. Now that might be kind of a given that these are all Black Friday emails. But, you know, I like the rule that we have of like treat prospects kind of like they're third graders, you know?
Right.
So like if you don't say it, it's not given enough, you know, it's not so obvious. And if it is that obvious, it's not going to hurt you to say it anyway. So the fact that it says limited edition, I'm a fan of that kind of messaging. Not a lot of offer going on here, which is weird for Black Friday.
Right. So if I'm understanding what's happening here, this is a limited edition. This is a true limited edition product, which is what they're doing on Black Friday, as opposed to doing like an offer. So it's like a Black Friday only product. And there maybe when you click through, there is an offer, but it doesn't have it there. Yeah. So, you know, in terms of offer, look, Rothy's. So here's the thing. We have some brands some apparel brands where they're actually going to do a lot better dropping a new collection than they are doing a sale. Like people just eat up their new collections more. So I don't know if Rothy's is like that. I'm going to give one major nod to Rothy's here. And that is, I like their subject line better.
Yeah.
On Black Friday, that's probably the time of year to just go straight forward and offer driven in your subject line. But as a general rule, I think this is a better subject line. Like this sells the open a lot better than, you know, free shipping on all orders today. And cutoff point here, like you might get that whole thing in there, but you know, we heard you like metallic. No matter how you cut it, it's, you know, it's intriguing. So
Yep.
I'm going to give one major nod to Rothy's in that I think their subject line was just a little stronger. And, you know, zig when others zag. You know, like I said, Black Friday is the time to put your offer in the subject line. But if somebody's inbox is full of offers, like, you know, maybe try something that's not offer driven, is a little more meant to sell the open.
I'll say this too. We had all different kinds of people who would watch these videos, all different kinds of marketers. And it's important to remember email is for a warm traffic source, right? Like people are already brand aware at least. So you kind of convinced me a little bit here with if this is a new collection, just limited edition for Black Friday, people will already be aware they haven't seen these before. So that in and of itself is pretty cool, even if they don't lead with offer here. Like you said, who knows? Maybe you click through and there's an offer on the next page, which I actually do kind of agree with, like putting that in the right spot. You know, you got this like new shoe to get the click here. Maybe the offer on the next step. So
yeah, go ahead.
I'd go Rothy's on this one.
Yeah, I mean, they do everything we talk about. The subject line sells the open, the email sells the click, and then, you know, if there's an offer on top of it, it's like, oh, it was a surprise. You know, surprise, I get a discount as well. That sells the conversion. All right, Chubbies, brand that Casey is a fan of. Subject line, okay, I'm not going to say anything. Subject line, hey you. Doesn't look like they're using any personalization. Hey you. So just hey you is the subject line. Chubbies, Black Friday sale, shop now. That's their main asset. Versus Burt's Bees, free shipping on all orders today only.
We went with Rothy's, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we went with Rothy's. That's right. Yeah, Rothy's. We heard you like metallic shoes, and that's the asset. All right, Casey, Chubbies, hey you.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Chubbies are pretty big in the email marketing game. Like they're used a lot as like examples for educational like email marketing tactics because they go way out of the box and they kind of invent new plays. They're really good at curiosity angles like this.
Yes.
I mean,
yep.
What are you expecting when you click on Hey You? Guarantee you don't know, but that's the whole point is you don't know and you want to find out. So I am actually a fan of that. It's curiosity play. It's short. I'm always a fan of that. You got your thought across. And as far as inside the email here, this asset, I mean, it's about as stock as you could get, right? Like
yep. If it's Black Friday, why say anything else?
You can straight up swipe this for your own brand and just use it. I mean, chop off the Chubbies on top, which is probably something separate anyway in the actual email. But like, this is, it is what it is. I think it could be a little more clever, but sometimes we can get too clever for our own good. It's very straightforward, and they're not giving away too much. Again, you're kind of interested, well, what is the Black Friday sale? I think they're kind of doing the right thing at the right steps here. Hopefully they got a juicy offer on the next page. I think they would have massive amount of traffic through to whatever that sale is, and depending on how good that offer is how many conversions they're going to get.
Yeah, so I mean, they hit on it here. Chubbies, yeah, they're very good at hooks, at subject line, intrigue. You know, here's a couple of them. It's Restocktober, which I know Casey just loves. And we're just a subject line that just says we're. So yeah, that's Chubbies. So another thing Chubbies does, and I feel like maybe we're getting a little bit too like giving the nod to Chubbies because we both Chubbies is in our inbox and we study them already, so we know some stuff about them. But the other thing that Chubbies does is they have like a legit value-driven newsletter that they regularly send. So they actually have like a relationship with their email subscribers. So like an email from just anyone that says, hey, you, like that's probably going to catch some attention, get some curiosity clicks, stuff like that. But email from Chubbies that says, hey, you, like it's like getting a text from a friend, you know, or from maybe not a friend, but like someone, you know, because they really do like have a little bit of a relationship with the subscribers. So yeah, I mean, I think if I'm looking at the two of these, I do think Rothy's, both of these do like the same thing where they go subject line sells the open, email sells the click, and then landing page sells the sale. I think Chubbies just does it a little bit better, you know?
Yeah, I would definitely give the nod to Chubbies here, but just to like not just completely show my bias, I will say this is far from the best Chubbies email I've seen. So I'll go with that. Chubbies, but even they could do better for sure.
Yeah. Okay. H&M. Happy Black Friday, 30% off everything. And then here is the main asset. 30% off everything plus free shipping, women's sweaters from $7, men's jeans from $14, kids dresses from $4, home gifts from $5. Okay. Take it away, Casey.
I think they got some fat that could be trimmed out of that subject line. I mean, I just am a broken record at this point. 30% off everything would be so much stronger, in my opinion. People know what day it is. I mean, give the context of like what this is going to look like in an actual like inbox. I mean, there's going to be 30 marketing emails in a row. They're all going to be something about Black Friday. Like, you'd stand out more by being the one that doesn't bring it up.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to
this is about where it's going to get cut off, and you are just going to be like everyone else that says Black Friday sale. Yep.
Happy Black Friday. If that's where it cuts off, I mean, you're going to feel kind of foolish. So, yeah, I don't love it, even though that offer is pretty good. And I like that they did put the offer in there. Unfortunately, a lot of people won't see that. And then even when we look down at the inside there in the campaign, this almost looks like, I mean, we kind of are back and forth a little bit on like the, having all those links in there. But this actually reminds me of a play that we used before, which is almost like recreating a collection page or something here, like whatever you want to call it. It looks very native to their site kind of thing. So I don't hate what's in there, and I don't hate their offer. I don't hate that they use their offer, but I wish they would have kind of put it more front and center in the subject line.
Yeah, I agree on the subject line. I'll say a couple things here. Inside the email, I think is all pretty good. Other than I don't like menu bars personally. Yeah. I think it's too many links, and you're already doing a pretty heavy HTML email. Like, you're just hurting your chances of landing in the inbox. That said, 30% off, it's a good offer, but like these offers are much stronger, right? Like women's sweaters from $7, men's jeans from $14. Like that, like the inside of their email is in a sense better than Chubbies because their offer is much stronger and they put it in there. But 30% off everything just doesn't communicate their offer strongly enough. But yeah, I mean, they could have put it in there more or something, figure out a way to communicate that strong offer in a little bit more strong way. I think they could have done that up front. I think, honestly, inside of the email, I would say maybe it beats Chubbies other than the menu bar, but they're just not going to get as many eyeballs on it with Happy Black Friday. So I got to go Chubbies.
To be fair to Chubbies too, because I agree with you with that offer being that strong, they put it front and center. That's smart. To be fair to Chubbies, we don't even know what their offer is.
It might not be as strong. So,
and at least if you're in their market and that curiosity play kind of at both steps here, I'm going to find out what their offer is because I'm going to click through. And I think, I don't know if I actually brought this up on the last episode or not, but that power of being able to get the click, whether or not you actually get that conversion, that sales conversion at the end, being able to get that click and get that open is a powerful thing when it comes to email marketing because it's a game where the rich get richer. You gain reputation by getting opens and clicks. And if somebody, reading that H&M email, if they see 30% off and it's a good offer, but maybe it's still not, they see it here, they might not click because they're like, yeah, I've got 100 of these in my inbox. With Chubbies, you might have the same thought, but you realize it on the next page. You'd already be giving them your click, and they win essentially already.
I mean, where I'm at with it, I'm an apparel buyer. So like I buy apparel online. I would click both of them. The difference for me is this would be like a wallet out click, and this would be like a curiosity click. So that's what, well, just because, men's jeans from 14, I'm like, I mean, if I like them, I'll probably buy them. That's not very much money.
I would say the only difference is it's Black Friday. So I'm thinking in the context of there might be 10 emails just like it.
Right. Yeah. Well, so this is where I think H&M probably wins is they probably have one of the better DTC like offer giving abilities, right? Like a lot of the DTC brands, they're just not low end like that. Which, maybe I'll see them and I'll be like, I don't really want to wear those, but yeah.
So thinking overall here.
Overall, I still give it to Chubbies for sure.
I would as well. And you might have to remind me, did I end up using the possession arrow again?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I can't remember either, but it sounds like
I think you have it.
I have it. Okay. Well, it sounds like I'll keep it at least for now. So
yeah.
Moving along here. So Chubbies versus, I'll take this one for you. Give you a little break from just reading these subject lines over and over again. Chubbies.
You got to read it with the emphasis though.
Oh, okay. I gotcha here, man. Chubbies versus our new contender at number 17, Under Armour. Subject line of, it's on. 30% off site-wide, all orders $50 plus. And that's weird. Reading it like that's weird. That means
yeah, I know. That's why I read it with the emphasis, because I'm like, you guys did a thing here.
Yeah, you want people who are watching this, who have done this, to kind of feel the heartburn of like, oh, that is kind of silly.
Yeah.
And knowing that like the filters at Google and Yahoo and stuff are going to look at all of those capitalized letters and be like, okay, hopefully you feel strong about these because we're going to deep here. Like, right. I think through that lens, most people would realize like, man, I should use this very sparingly. So, but maybe Black Friday is the time to use. I mean, it is the time to use it if there is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, and then that the epic vibes down here for the content, up to 50% off UA outlet plus an extra 30% off site-wide. This is epic. Orders $50 plus. Use code UA gift to you.
Yeah, man, I like the Under Armour email. I like the Under Armour offer. There's too much going on in the subject line, but I will say the cutoff point most likely will be right here, which is a pretty good spot, right? Like somebody might have put thought into that.
I think it'll be a hair past that.
But even if it is right there, that's what I was about to say. Even if it is right there, it's still good. Even if it is right there, it's still good. Even if it's right there. So I do think there was some thought put into this longer subject line.
This is where just splitting hairs, because I mostly agree with you. Splitting hairs, I would probably use that it's on as that preview text we talked about in the last episode. 30% off is what I want to lead with. Site-wide, all orders $50 off, and that's good. They got it condensed there. That whole thing without the it's on would almost fit as a subject line anyway. But yeah, it's well thought out, like you said.
See, yeah, and I kind of like it's on as the subject line because I think 30% is gonna be in a lot of subject lines on Black Friday. You know what I mean? Or even better, 35. Like, I'm not willing to bid with. I'm not willing to like ante up with 30%. Does that make sense in my subject line? So I kind of like if I'm gonna be 30% or under, something else. That's just my thought on it. But I also don't know why they didn't lead with like up to 50% off. Maybe they thought that would be misleading or something like that. But that's probably where I would have gone. Like, if we're just reworking the subject line, then yeah, like maybe I'd it's on, 30% off. It's on, and then I might go preview text with that. You'd reverse it. That's fine. But if I were reworking the whole thing, I would have just up to 50% off, right? I would have led with that and then done what you said with the preview text.
And maybe that's not is the best practice to go so juicy, because like you said, you don't want to be like disingenuous. But again, if there is a time to just put your best foot forward, even at the risk of kind of being a little too juicy sounding, a little too juicy, it's Black Friday. Like,
I'll ante up on Black Friday. I'll ante up with 50% off, right? I'll be confident that I'm gonna have one of the stronger offers, at least of the emails around me in the inbox, with 50%. So yeah, no, but I think the offer here is very strong. Like I give a lot of points to offer here, especially on Under Armour. I guess people, Under Armour probably goes on sale at retailers and stuff all the time, but like up to 50% off on outlet plus an extra 30% site wide. It's a very, very strong offer, going up against Chubbies where we don't know what the offer is. I also think, honestly, inside of the email, pretty good, straightforward. If you got a strong offer, just put it there. Still though, I just, the hey you subject line and then the curiosity click, I just know how well it will do on Black Friday,
yeah, that's kind of it. It's like I almost want to instruct people to kind of more copy Under Armour, but if you really get the play down and you run the play and you know how to execute it, what Chubbies did is kind of next level.
Right.
I'm actually torn here for the first time a little bit, and yeah, it's tough here, man. I don't know. Where are you leaning, Chubbies?
I'm on the fence, but I'm leaning Chubbies. If you wanted to go Under Armour, I'd probably go with you. I don't know. No, I'm leaning Chubbies, I think. Okay, what you said is really important. I do think that, like, if you're watching this and you're not, like, pretty masterful email marketer, like, pretty confident in your email marketing capabilities, you should probably copy more of, like, what Under Armour did here. And with maybe some of the tweaks we've talked about. But if you, like, are very confident as an email marketer and you know how to do a very intriguing subject line, do a curiosity driven click that isn't misleading, then yeah, Chubbies is a better play. It's going to perform better.
Part of the bias I will admit here is that, like, we already know Chubbies is doing email marketing in a way that's successful for them. And yeah, that's a great play. If you know you already have strong segmentation in your list, you already have good engagement, you're giving people what they want, because Chubbies does stuff like that all the time too. So they kind of keep upping that curiosity play. That's why they've evolved it to such a weird place. Under Armour, I will say this though, as far as traditional stuff, like if you're going to copy one and you haven't done a lot of offer facing stuff, this is a good one to copy. And not always thought of as the sexiest word, but site wide is huge. Like I think that speaks to a lot of consumers, like, because people aren't dumb. They've seen misleading sales before. When you say site wide, I mean, you better mean it on the back end too. But like when you say site wide, they're like, oh man, cool. That thing I've maybe been thinking about buying, now I'm gonna go get it. I don't even need to, like, the offers are so all,
Pretty much, pretty much everyone on your email list has been on your site, so it's, yeah, for sure. So where are you going? Where are we going?
I think Chubbies still.
Okay. Chubbies holds the throne. Okay, this is cool. Sassy Spud. I don't know what they are, but it's Black Bean Friday. Wait, hold on. Let me get it's Black Bean Friday.
Oh man, when you say it like that, I do want to open now.
Cool guy with sunglasses. I don't know if the cool guy with sunglasses fits the all caps exclamation point vibe, but all right. And then Sassy Spud, we got like a little love heart here with a potato in it. It's Black Bean Friday, 25% off everything all weekend. Use code Black Bean Friday. Button here, and then like we're not a fast fashion brand. Biggest discount of the year is 25%. This may seem small to some, but just remember, if a company can discount over 40% on Black Friday and still make profit, there's a reason for this. Make sure to spend your money wisely this weekend and shop small, sustainable brands if you can. They put that little message right there. That's super interesting.
I love the honesty. I mean, it feels honest, at least.
Right. Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, it's all sales jargon, right? But it feels real. And they have a point about margins, and the big guys who can do that 50% off offer. Like, why do you charge so much all the time? Yeah. And I will say this. I mean, I don't think we maybe fall right into the demographic here of Sassy Spud. But I love the character in it. I mean, wordplay is wordplay, but like Shop Right Meow. I mean, come on. Like, there's not even cast reference in this. Like, but it's cute. Yeah. The people who are on this list, they appreciate it, I'm sure. And it's Black Bean Friday. It is going to stand out compared to Black Friday stuff. They're kind of making a mockery of it. I like that a little bit. Again, the looking at it with the lens of like, yeah, those, I would like it more not capitalized. I'd like it more without the exclamation mark, but it is what it is. I like it quite a bit. It's one of the top half maybe we've seen so far, but I don't like it more than Chubbies.
Major points to them there in that they actually might fit this whole thing in a like there might be no cutoff here. Maybe there would be, but yeah, also great pattern interrupt with Black Bean. It's Black Bean Friday. I like the angle there in the email. So like, and they put it small, so it's like, look, we'll lead offer front and center, put the button there, but like, you know, if you're curious, it is a good angle in the subject in the email. I think the email asset beats Chubbies honestly because of that, like because they kind of like go at brands like Chubbies probably. But yeah, I don't. You know what? If you were going the other way, you have the possession arrow here. If you were going the other way at all, I might give it to Sassy Spud. But that I think that exclamation point and the caps weights pretty heavily to you because it's just not going to get as many eyeballs.
Tough, yeah, it's tough. I would.
All right, let me hypothetically. Let's say it was written without caps and an exclamation point. Then would you go to them? Like, is it actually better as an angle and as content, or is Chubbies still better there too?
That is a super good question, at least from my perspective. I don't know. That'd be real tough. I want to point out one thing, a bonus point I will award to Sassy Spud that even going back to the last episode, even nobody has nailed. That emoji, I mean, I would prefer it at the beginning, but they don't have a space between there.
Yes.
Characters. Oh. And to your point of maybe it fits, it sounds dumb, but that one character could make or break the difference there. And, you know, I'm a fan of that. Like you said, I'm not sure it matches perfectly. Like, I would maybe go alarm clock, maybe like one of those like flashy lights, like the like siren looking light or whatever you call those. Yeah, if it was the other, I mean, I'd be torn. I'd be real torn. I'm glad they didn't, so that I can just bail out and go Chubbies. But I'll say this: if we had gone the other way, Under Armour versus this, I would be super torn. And I think in this case, if they hadn't used caps, I would go them over Under Armour.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're sticking with Chubbies.
Stick with them.
Okay. Next up, Chubbies. Let's just remind everybody of the Chubbies one here.
Yeah. It's been a while.
All right. Chubbies one. Subject line. Hey, you. Email main asset. Black Friday sale. Shop now button.
It's just such chalk, man. It's a play right out of the textbook, you know?
It's a play right out of the Casey playbook. All right. Subject line. Just also, you know, maybe disclaimer. We didn't write any of these. So it's not like we're just saying like, hey, we're the best. No, we didn't write that one. Our largest price drop on Moto G7. Skip the lines, finish your holiday shopping today and save $100 on these best-selling phones. $100 off Moto G7. And that has a price there. Interesting. What do you think here?
I'll start inside the in the email with what's good. It's smart that they're calling out the holiday shopping. I mean, most people, it's not a big secret why Black Friday is huge. A lot of people are doing holiday shopping. But again, it's similar to that like limited edition thing. I'm like, it's not hurting you to call out the obvious. Like treat people like they're third graders without being like condescending. When I say that, I don't mean like treat them like they're dumb. I just mean like things that are obvious to you as the brand are not always obvious to the consumer. So yeah, tell them to get their holiday shopping done. Maybe there's a few people who weren't thinking like that. I do, weirdly enough, I like that the price tag thing is on there. It's a little different than just like, you know, like Chubbies doesn't have like the price tag imagery thing. I actually like the content in here. The price in there, yeah, that's pretty cool. I think because of what the offer is, it might be smart to include that there.
Yeah, if it's a strong offer, it's not a bad idea at all.
Exactly, where like Chubbies didn't do that, but on the other end of that, Chubbies might have a 10% off. So maybe they did the exact right thing. We don't know. That's why I'm like, they're going to get the click because I want to know. These guys, if I'm in the market for this, and if this is intriguing to me, they're going to get the click and they're probably going to get the buy.
Right.
But if if I just wasn't going to buy it, I mean, I don't even know why I clicked into the email if I wasn't interested in the phone.
Yeah.
But
they were pretty straightforward in their subject line.
yeah, I like it. Subject line could just be done up a little bit, I think.
I mean, let me just point this out. There's a good chance we have a cutoff right here.
Yeah. Which is going to have the complete opposite effect of what is intended.
Yeah, or people will be like, "What?" maybe they'll open it because of that. But yeah, that's like yeah. I mean, they definitely didn't mean to do that. So
yeah,
I major point drop on the subject line for me. They used a pretty not strong subject line and then stuck an exclamation point at the end of it.
I hate to be such a broken record, man, but I'm just personally not going to give the nod to anybody doing that compared to a brand that didn't do it, probably, unless it's just unless there's something else really making up the difference. Right. But yeah, I mean, if I'm rewriting this just because I want to not just be calling out the negative, if I'm rewriting that subject line, they're like, "Oh, you do better." I'm like, okay, even if they just took out our largest, like price drop on Moto G7, that might all fit, conveys exactly what you want. And it's who cares if it's your largest? Like, they get it. It's Black Friday. Like, there's enough stuff kind of there. I'm a fan of. It's not going to hurt you to say stuff unless saying something makes something else not visible. You know, like the person who is dead set on getting a Moto G7, they won't even see this. So like, just be aware of what you're doing and get the message you actually want to get across.
Right. And there's I mean, there's always a chance that there's context here. Like Motorola's pretty big. They could have a pretty big email list. Maybe they have this segmented, you know, maybe Moose End was on a G7 product page. You know what I mean? So there could be segments around the different products, which would be super smart if they did that. But you know, we can't make that. We can't say that they did that without, you know.
Would be super. I'll point this out. Would be super smart tactically to do that. In that context, even bigger miss not to put it earlier in the subject line.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Okay. So we're sticking with Chubbies. Chubbies coming up against Saatchi Art. Black Friday sale continues. Shop vibrant abstracts. And then here is the inside. Let art fill your season with joy. Save up to 15% on original art, 15% off originals, $1,500 US plus, or 10% off originals, 500 plus. And yeah, that's what we got. Saatchi Art. And just to remind everybody, it is going up against Chubbies. Subject line, "Hey you," email, Black Friday sale, shop now button. So what do you think of Saatchi Art?
Well, there are multiple offers. That's positive, right? Like, you two different things going on here. I mean, they're similar. I guess I don't, maybe just the first glance, I'm not noticing the difference. Why would you have the phrase so similarly?
I mean, 1,500. It's a buy more, save more.
I see. Yeah, I get it now.
but I think that this isn't a situation where when you sell high dollar products, like 10% off a high dollar, 15% off a $2,500 piece of art is a lot, but you'd be better going with a dollar probably, and you actually would save, right? So if you gave $300 off, yeah, maybe if somebody bought that $1,500 piece, you would save. But if somebody bought the $3,000 piece or $2,500 piece, then you'd actually gain margin on that. And $300 off would be a stronger looking offer than 15%.
A couple more critiques. I do love what side by side can do for the real estate in a message. I'm a big fan of doing that because you can get more more information out there per like inch on screen, kind of, you know, we talk about being above the fold a lot, and I love that. I wish they would continue that here because, I mean, maybe it was just a brain fart, but it took me a second to realize what even was going on there. I would love to see an example of the $1,500 piece compared to the $500 piece here. I don't know what the thing down below that is, you know, like, right. It's just, I think it could be a lot more clear. With just
it's an abstract. I mean, I think if you're in their audience, you would get it maybe.
Sure. I don't mean, I mean clarity on what the difference is between the two offers and what the actual product is you're getting. Like, I would love to know which one that is, you know, like, which I guess you could kind of give them bonus points saying like, oh, curiosity play, maybe. Because if somebody falls in love with that, they go, oh, if that's a $500 one and they get 10% off, I'll buy it for $450.
Yeah.
You know, but if you click in there and you find out it's the $1,500 one and you were expecting $500 price, which is a possibility at this point, you kind of have some heartburn there. You wish kind of like, oh, never mind. Like,
right. I get you. Yeah. So a couple things again with the menu. I don't love it. Black Friday sale, you know, good chance we're going to get cut off right here. Maybe right here continues. I think the subject line isn't bad, but it's just meh, you know, like it's not great. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really want to go. It's so much the same stuff I've been saying already. I don't want to just be redundant.
I mean, it's long. It's got a lot of caps. It's, you know, that's a weird use of a character and a weird use of I mean, I actually like that as a punctuation point, and it might burn less characters, you know, but
I did want to mention this. I forgot earlier, but when we were talking about Chubbies versus one of the other ones that was pretty close for us, they both had commas in the subject line, which again, that's not an accident. Like, I think that's a little bit more thought out. When you're using exclamation marks in all caps, that's like a classic rookie maneuver in my mind. When you're using things like commas, ellipses, maybe even that bar there, it's a little bit more veteran move. I would have liked if it actually made a difference here, though. It's not going to help anything stay in the, like, you know, in the view on mobile. So it's not helping, but hey, I'll give them this. They didn't use an exclamation.
Yeah, that's good. And the other thing I'll say is, you know, we're all trained classically in writing to capitalize a headline, right? So capitalize something like a subject line. Yeah, don't capitalize all the words in your subject line. Like, you don't need to. It actually stands out a little more if you don't, and it reads a little more like smoothly.
What this looks like to me is what you call it, the, like, what shows up on the tab of a page. Page title. That's exactly that's like the format I see for that, you know, like.
Yep.
So it doesn't strike me as a subject line. So sorry.
Okay. We're sticking with Chubbies.
Is this the last one coming up here? We're getting close.
I think we got all the way up till 23. Yep.
All right, 3 more.
So Kate Spade, another DTC darling here. Black Friday deals on deals, up to 75% off everything. And here is our biggest surprise sale of the year, Black Friday edition. We have a lot of people to shop. You have a lot of people to shop for, and we have so many gifts under $50. And then up here, we have free ground shipping on all orders to the US and Canada. What do you think, man?
I will say this. This one is like an example. Like, it's almost like they heard some of the critiques we had on other brands, and they've put a few of these, like, what we call corrections, like, in play here. As far as, like, it's got the free shipping on the top, right? Like, again, it seems like the chalk thing to do, like this, like, obvious thing to do. But look at all these examples that Musen is even saying are good examples of what you should do. I think this is only the second one that's included that, and it's not wasting any space, you know, in that real estate, like, frame of mind. It's wasting almost nothing, and it's having at least some impact. And you know, it's high risk to reward, low risk to high reward. I don't know. And then within that, we lost the screen share. That's okay. I remember what was there. Within that, I do like, again, they called out, you have a lot of people to shop for. It's obvious maybe, but, like, yeah, I mean, you got to put some copy in anyway. Why not have copy that you know is going to make sense? The reason why it seems obvious is because it's going to make sense for a lot of people clicking on Black Friday deal emails. And they actually do tease at an offer here at the bottom. We have so many gifts under $50. I like the asset. It's like a good amount of design without detracting from, like, what's going on here. And another good point I'll give them is throughout the subject line and the content here, it's very conversational, and I'm a big fan of conversational type of copy. You know, we have so many gifts under $50. The brand up above, they were so, like, robotic sounding, and with that, like, page title subject line, I'm like, they're not doing anything like that. This kind of stuff is what I tend to see convert a little bit better. Is it perfect? No, but is it a contender? Possibly. Yeah,
it definitely, I think, is a contender. Dude, I'm harping the same thing. And I think that you're kind of saying like, look, we can't judge the offer because we're just judging the emails. 75% off site wide, or up to 75% off is a very, very strong offer, right? Like, and look, like, you know, I think what was it? Sassy Spuds, like they did an interesting thing where they said like, well, what, you know, doesn't it make you question? Yeah, look, I mean, when brands have to clear inventory, yeah, maybe they're not taking a lot of margin on it. And they just need to drive revenue and clear inventory. So it's up to 75% off, super strong offer. I think what's interesting to me, I don't know whether to give it points or not give it points, is that they called it the biggest surprise sale of the year on Black Friday. It's a little weird, you know. I don't know if it's much of a surprise, but like maybe that's like like a just different kind of like pattern interrupt angle. It definitely caught my attention, which is, you know, my favorite argument for marketing. If it worked on me, it must work. So the big place I think they dropped the ball is like, this should have gone first on the subject line. That's like a big miss, I think. Other than that, I actually think pretty much everything was pretty tight on this.
You said it, so I don't have to say it. One of the other things I forgot when I was saying that it's like it heard our critiques on other emails is they did not do that capitalize everything over the place. And I was like, oh, wow, it's like they heard what you just said about the last one. But yeah, I mean, I have the same exact critique. Other than that, this is one of the sharpest ones we've seen so far. It's maybe my favorite post-open, like, content.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Yep. I don't know what you'd call it, but I do like this other thing that's going on, like our biggest surprise sale of the year, and it's got surprise sale like highlighted or whatever you want to call that, different font, different color. I like that because there's more for the people who want to see more, and there's less for people who want to see less. I like things that kind of play on stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, 75% off could go in more spots, and it could definitely go in the main spot right at the front. But yeah, this is one of those where I'm a little bit more forgiving because it's just sharp everywhere else. So
right. Yeah, if I were making one change to this, it would be subject line up to 75% off everything. Preview text, Black Friday deals on deals.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I get to drop the colon as well. So what do you think, man? I
think with that edit you just made, that would maybe be the best one. I'm sensing the Chubbies might take the cake here. Maybe I'm a little preemptive on that. I do think it would be a really tight race between, like, this is like the third one now where I'm like, ooh, if it was between these other three and Chubbies was out, this is a close race. It's a photo finish kind of thing. And this one might now be the number 2 in my mind. But yeah, that's a pretty big miss to me. I'd rather, guess if I'm being honest, I'd rather see the sharp subject line and maybe drop the ball a little bit inside, rather than the other way around.
Yeah. So going with Chubbies.
Yeah, man.
Going with Chubbies. All right. Converse, last hours of sale. And then inside it, you know, free delivery on orders above 50 pounds. Deal alert, 1 for 45 or 2 for 80. Enter promo code Friday at checkout. And just for reference, that's like a really, really strong deal on Chucks. So it's like, you know, they did the right thing putting the offer front and center. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't want to put the horse head of the wagon here, but just right out of the gate, this one is one that has a shot. Like I just said, I'd rather see a strong subject line and maybe drop the ball after the open than the other way around. And I mean, urgency is about as tried and true as it gets. You know, obviously this is towards it. I mean, you just take what they're saying for truth, I guess, like that is accurate, that this is the last few hours of their sale. So love it. And this feels like a veteran doing this here because, like, when you say it out loud, last hours of sale, I don't think that's how most people would say it, but why are they doing that? Because if you put in your stuff's going to fall off, potentially at least. So it feels tactical, and I respect that. You know, maybe that's just a little too inside baseball for a lot of people, but that's one of the reasons I'll give it street cred. And I think without even realizing it, the average consumer would also, because you actually get what they're saying when you're looking in your inbox. And then if we go down a little bit here, I mean, again, it's like it's heard some of the critiques from before. Free delivery on orders above 50 pounds. You know, that's why not have that there if it's going to take up such a little amount? It's a good deal. They're doing, I forget which other brand I said it about, but like Chucks are on sale in all colors and sizes. They're called Chuck Taylors, right? And it's a small thing, but I'm like, they're being conversational about it. They're talking about it how you would talk about it, right? Like they aren't doing that like the Saatchi Art thing where they're being super like robotic sounding and here's exactly what you got to call it. Like, no, you know what it is, Chucks. Like everybody knows what Chucks are, and especially the people on their list. And like you said, people on their list, remember this is a warm audience, they will recognize how good of a deal this is, and that's pretty huge. This one's a real contender, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I also will say this, I don't want people to copy this, but we've critiqued the exclamation point a lot of times. I don't have a critique for it here. Like that's the other reason I think it feels like a veteran is because I'm like, I very rarely want the exclamation point in the subject line. And this is one of the very rare instances where I would use it. Also, they used weird uses of capitalization, right? So instead of going last capital, hours capital of, not capital, and then sale capital, which would have been proper, they capitalized last and sale to emphasize them. So it's like they're playing the algorithm while still trying to play like the reader view. So yeah, I mean, like you said, inside baseball maybe, but they're going to get through like that last hours of sale subject line is really strong, but a lot of like people would have done it. Like your natural instinct would be to go last few hours of the Black Friday sale or last hours of the sale. It's the last few hours of the Black Friday sale. That wouldn't make it. Or your other inclination would have been to capitalize everything, then put the exclamation point, and then you're landing in more spam filters. So they did everything they could to get that like, hey, urgency, last hours of sale, and use the elements like capitalization and like exclamation points that catch people's attention, while still playing the algorithm a little bit and landing in more inboxes. So all that to say, this subject line is going to get a lot of opens. And then we've got lean in clicks here, right? Like people who, these are wallet out clicks. It's straightforward. Chucks for $45. Oh, okay, I'm in. You know, it's the last few hours. I just got to do it right now.
Yeah,
I think I almost give it the nod. I give it the nod because I will say, copy this, don't copy Chubbies unless you really know what you're doing.
I was just going to say, before I kind of reveal which way I'm going to go, it's kind of a place and time thing, right? If you're sending an email on the morning of Black Friday or the night before, like you're sending Thanksgiving night, this is not what you want to send because it's not true yet. Like it's not the last year. So with a grain of salt, like you can only send this at a particular time. Chubbies is a little bit more like it'll work whenever, but even more particularly the Chubbies one being so curiosity driven, it really works even better at the top of a sale. So ultimately, I mean, if you're really trying to make money on Black Friday, I would suggest sending more than one email first to say that. So like pairing these kinds of plays together.
Yeah, this is kind of apples and oranges, honestly, this comparison.
Exactly.
Chubbies is the top of the sale email. This is the last hours. Yeah.
And they're both A+ versions of that play. So like I said, I'd be careful how you copy Chubbies, but if you want to swipe a curiosity-driven thing and just take in all these same critiques we're saying kind of over and over again that a few of these brands have kind of maneuvered around, do that. Use that curiosity early, and then use this like wallet out, click, like very, offer forward, urgency-driven subject line. Use that at the end. That to me is like, there's no one winner here, but because of how strong this is, I'm going to side with you, man. I'm going Converse.
Yep. All right. Converse takes it. And it goes up against our last, because after this, we're going to post Black Friday email subject line. So maybe we'll do a part 3 of those to do that. So Converse up against the last one. Tone it up. I don't know what tone it up is. The clock's ticking. Tone it up. Going, gone. Got a little person throwing some tone it up away.
I'll go ahead and I'll say this. I know there's one thing you like because I've heard you say it and I've done it specifically when building certain things. I know you like the like overlap here. I don't know exactly what we call this.
I just like this as a design. Yeah, like when it kind of right. Yeah, I get your shit.
I do. I don't. I'm not saying it to point it out. Like I disagree. I do agree because there's something that I don't know how to describe, but it pops in a different way. You know, it becomes more three-dimensional to you. And I do enjoy it. I like it a lot. I love the simplicity of it. I mean, I assume there's more going on in this email, but they're not trying to do too much, which is good. Really, a critique might be they're not doing enough because they haven't earned my click yet. And I'm not saying you have to give the offer, you know, like in the Chubbies example, you don't have to give your offer, but maybe this is a good time to do it. But I have to assume there's more going on in this email because there's not even like a call to action or anything. And this is another urgency play. The clock's ticking. That means it's almost over. That is consistent through the asset as well. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it.
It's strong. A couple things I want to point out in the subject line. I mean, look, I'm not going to kill them I'm not going to burn it down for, at least they didn't capitalize everything, you know, so I'm not going to burn them down for capitalizing it like that. But this whole thing will fit. The clock emoji is fantastic. I would have put it right at the front, but works at the end too, because it'll fit. And the clock's ticking, not the clock is ticking.
That's how people talk.
Yes. Like absolute. Yeah. So this again, little inside baseball, but quickly written subject line. So, and I would almost say, well, that one was really good too, actually. They're both very strong subject lines. But yeah, I mean, look, that's really good. That's you can't use the same subject line at the end of every sale. Put that one in your swipe file too. I mean, these are both urgency plays. These are both end of the sale plays, and Converse is just a little bit better, I think. But I do like what they did here. Like it's good, you know, especially if maybe if you got $45 chucks, you put it front and center. So maybe they don't have quite as strong of an offer, and maybe it is like, actually we're going out of stock, you know, and that's it. So maybe they don't need as strong of an offer, but yeah, I think Converse does a little bit better.
I think that's a good thing to point out, because you said that similarly with another example too, where it's like they're not going off at first, but maybe that's not a negative, because that might not be their goal, is to just maximize sales volume. They might be trying to sell out of a certain item.
Right. Yeah. So I actually think Tone It Up, it's a very strong email. It's a very strong subject line. I gotta assume there's like a button down here or something like that, or more copy or whatever. But yeah, no, I think Converse is a little bit better, but this is for sure another one for the end of sale swipe file.
Yeah, I think what's probably more valuable to people watching this, I think we're probably good on the screen share right now, huh? Probably.
Okay.
I think we're good. What I would say is probably more valuable to people who are watching this is not so much which one actually won out as the number one, but more so that there was a pretty clear like upper half and lower half, and the consistencies between those. Like it was always the same reasons why instantly I was like, bottom half, pretty much garbage, don't like anything about it. Maybe I like one little thing, but it doesn't outweigh the 5 things I hate about it. And then all of those ones that were always at the top, they did a lot of the same things right. And I think that's what's important to people. Don't see one example and be like, well, this was the best. Modern Commerce guy said, do it like this. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm saying take kind of the common denominator of these top half examples, the ones that we kind of mentioned is like early on, they were like the top 3, moved on to the top 4, 5, 6, ended up being about half of them were way better done. And then there's a large line in the sand. Just copy all of those, kind of like the essence of them if you can. And have that goal in mind, like you said, like what are you actually trying to do? And even about offer crafting, craft your offer around that, then craft your messaging around selling that offer.
Right. Yeah. Is that your parting shot? Or
I didn't even mean to, but I think so.
That's it. Yeah. Take the comment. I mean, look, we hit on the same stuff over and over for a reason, because like the whole point of tear downs is to actually like learn and be able to apply to yourself, not just to like, you know, say like, not just to be like negative, you know, towards stuff or positive towards stuff, or, and honestly, like some of the people who did some of these, they might be really smart. They might be better at marketing than we are. We have no idea of the context of these, right? Like they might be limited by certain things, or they might be some other context that we don't know about. But yeah, like I think it's just like take the common denominators that we talked about, like just the way that, like, you know, I said this before, that Casey, that you like break down like looking at, you know, how many characters are in your subject line, what is the segment that this is going to, how warm is that segment, are we doing like product specific emails for people who've been on product pages, like all of those breakdowns, the stuff that we talked about, it's just stuff that it's like a little next level in the e-commerce email game, because let's face it, it can be pretty easy to perform at like a B level in e-commerce email. Is not super easy to perform at like an A+ level. So I don't know. I think we did a double parting shot there. So you took one, then I took one, but it was the same message either way. Like, take the principles.
I like it. Guys, if you're with us still, thank you for watching. There's a third part of this list, but honestly, I don't know if we're going to do another 3-parter on this topic exactly. This is already our 2nd hour of email tactics in a row. That's a lot of email for people. We'll see, though. I don't know. But again, if you're here, still, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and obliterate the bell icon so that you get all our. And you're supposed to use cool verbs. That's how you're.
Oh, I got you. That's sorry.
So I don't know. But yeah, get that bell icon so that you get notifications about our new videos when we post them. That's gonna do it for us today, guys. Get yourself prepped for Black Friday. Go destroy it. I don't know. I'm running out of verbs here. So
running out of like epic adverbs or epic verbs. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me, John. Thank you for joining us, viewers. And until next time, we'll see you.